You are nerds that love data protection.
I would hate to see us regress to pen and paper.
Your data's always protected.
I feel so honored and happy to be here. There's a lot of information right now in the media about data misuse, about safety, about online safety. And it's so important for people to know that data can be used for good. And not only that there can be transparency and availability of your data and the security of your data. And there are people that truly care, right? And the two of you really, really embody that. Both of you are like award-winning baddies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
And how long have the both of you been in industry and doing this work?
Well, I've been a practicing lawyer for about 20 years now. I was focused on privacy at a time when privacy wasn't really a thing and it wasn't cool. So I was actually a commercial lawyer and I was the person in the department that did privacy on the side.
Okay.
Over the years, I'm just so excited to see how privacy and security has actually grown as a discipline in the industry. And yeah, I've led various privacy functions, various privacy initiatives, incredibly passionate about data protection. And it is definitely now just, it's a full-time role. It's not like a side hustle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing this for a long time and I absolutely love what I do.
So similar story. I've been in information security, cybersecurity, business assurance, tech for over 20 years. And I came into the profession when the momentum was really starting to build around information and cybersecurity, and nobody knew really what to do with it. It was one of those things that ended up on the too hard pile. It was a case of going away and researching and then building and then governing. And that was kind of my journey. I've held a number of different security leadership roles in a range of organizations across a really wide variety of industries as well. I've done a lot of work in regulated industries, but I've also done a lot of work with startups and scale-ups. I think variety is actually really important.
Yeah.
But understanding healthcare, digital health, which is where we actually both were previously, I've been in the digital health space now for something like 6 years.
I know that Flow serves a lot of people, right? I think it's 420 million people have downloaded the app over the course. That's incredible. 420
It's
people.
amazing.
80 million people use the app monthly. I can tell like you all embody what you practice, right? Like you are nerds that love data protection, right? From a security perspective and a privacy perspective. But tell me how that really does tie into the work that you do at Flow, and what does privacy really mean at Flow?
Privacy is embedded in everything we do at Flow. So we have a highly experienced cross-functional team at Flow focused solely on privacy, security, and trust as well. So we have an engineering and product function that focus solely on trust. Our teams, all of these teams, we're embedded into the organization and we're involved in every stage of development in our product. And so we ensure that privacy and security is there by design and default.
We feel so privileged to be in leadership roles at Flow where we can make a really big difference. Fundamentally, we're putting technology in the hands of users that enables them to take control of their menstrual health. And that affects so many aspects of our lives. It genuinely is a game changer. And we feel really lucky to be in that privileged position.
We are the first and the only period tracker app to have dual ISO certifications.
Wow.
So we have a certification in security, ISO 27001, and we also have a certification in privacy. And what that means in reality is that on an annual basis, we are audited, our processes are checked. We have to meet a particular standard to gain this internationally recognized certification. We're also subject to GDPR, as you know, and we apply GDPR rights across the globe. So you don't have to be in Europe to benefit from GDPR rights. You can be anywhere in the world and we will extend those rights when it comes to your data to you. We also have a privacy champions network. So we have ambassadors representing every department in the business, and they're advocates for privacy. So they're there to issue spot, they're there to educate others. It's really spread throughout the organization. And the support doesn't just stop there. So we also have, and this is quite unique to our industry, we have a privacy and security advisory board. So we've got an incredible panel of experts in the industry who support us on strategic decisions, give us advice from time to time, and we meet with them regularly. We also have an award-winning feature anonymous mode that we've launched that we're incredibly proud of. I think Laure can talk more to that.
Definitely speak to that.
But yeah, it's really just, we're really passionate about what we do here at Flow, and it's a part of everything that we do.
There's so much conversation right now about the safety of the tools that we use and the technologies we use every day, especially around period tracking applications. People are really concerned with privacy. I think people are afraid of their data being misused. What would you want to say to people with these kinds of concerns?
Well, I guess as a privacy lawyer, as someone who's really passionate about privacy, I have to start by saying I think people should care about their privacy. It's really important. And it's really important that we can trust the technology that we use. So especially women, when tracking their health, they need to feel safe and feel as though their data is truly protected when they use services like Flow. Understandably, we know that women can feel nervous and feel afraid, especially in the current political climate, as to how their data could be used against them. Let's be real, there is no circumstance, there is no public health reason, there's no medical reason as to why governments should demand our reproductive health data. And it's really important that women are kind of educated in this space and they understand more about their rights, how their data is being used, which services to use. It's really important that we all feel safe in this space.
Are there governments asking for people's data right now?
We haven't received any requests from government authorities for period data. If we did, we would absolutely fight those requests. And like I said, I can't see any grounds or any reasons as to why that data would be necessary for government bodies.
This is a question that a lot of people have, and I'm very curious about it too. I want to address the very large and pink elephant in the room, the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
This is a really important conversation.
Okay.
And the facts really matter here. There are sensational headlines and narratives suggesting that Flow sold data, and that absolutely did not happen. So it's really important that we can talk about the reality here as to what actually happened. We were using SDKs to understand how our app was performing. So this was nearly a decade ago.
What's an SDK?
An SDK is a software development kit.
Okay.
So it's a building block that's ready-made that you can use to assess the performance of your app.
Okay.
And we had an SDK to help understand how our app was functioning. It was to improve the user journey in the app, to understand functionality, to fix crashes and bugs. This SDK was not used for monetization purposes. It wasn't used for advertising purposes. And I think that's a lot of the misconception is that it was. And so the way we use the SDK was completely normal in the industry. And even today, many apps continue to use SDKs. Yeah. So I think it's really important to clarify that point. During the lawsuit, during the case, the judge actually indicated that he was going to throw out the main part of the plaintiff's claim against Flow. We're really pleased that the facts became evident during the case, and that's what ultimately led to the settlement. But we understand that perception is everything. You can't just claim you're doing the right thing. You have to earn trust from your users.
Yeah.
And that's why we've so heavily invested in privacy. We have really robust internal governance here at Flow. And we also invest heavily in providing users choice, transparency, and control. So we understand our responsibility in this space. And as I say, the misinformation around this case really has to stop. And it's important to look at what's happened in reality. If we continue fear-mongering in this industry, women end up losing out because they don't have all the facts in front of them as to what's actually happened.
I'm really glad we're addressing this, especially just having conversations with folks in my peer circle, seeing it in the news. It was a bit jarring because I've spoken to you and I feel like I know you. I felt how much you care. And it was one of those moments where I looked at the news and I thought, no. But when I see headlines like that, one, I don't believe anything that I see on the internet, right? You don't know what's being sensationalized. And especially when it comes to security and privacy for applications, unless you're reading case files and you really understand what's going on, you don't always have the whole truth. And so I'm happy to be here and get the information straight from the horse's mouth. Like, okay, I'm going to ask directly to the team what's going on. And knowing security and privacy is so important to you all. I think we can see, and this example shows the gap in knowledge, I believe, that there is between what people understand about the data ecosystem, how we all function within it as individuals, technology companies, brokers, etc. I would be curious, I think, to help the audience, one, understand why it's so important to understand the data landscape, and then really share how Flow is doing it from a security perspective too. So Laure, can you share a bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So I think first of all, it's really important just to understand why women should be well informed in this space. Secure data tracking leads to better health outcomes. The richness of that data, the ability to know what's normal, what's not normal, to challenge that and then to seek help, that changes lives. And if we don't trust the platforms, if we don't trust the femtech industry, we're all forced back to pen and paper.
I was going to bring that up. I think there are lots of misconceptions about that, right?
The last thing we need to see is women's health going backwards. And I would hate to see us regress to pen and paper. We rely on technology for all aspects of our life. Why can't women when it comes to health?
Right.
We should be able to rely on technology. And as Laure said, the insights that you gain from technology can really empower you to make better decisions when it comes to your health. I get that there's fear-mongering out there, and actually reporting on data security practices in this industry is incredibly important. It has to be done responsibly so that women can make the right choices. It has to be facts-based. I would absolutely hate to see us move back to pen and paper. Why should we?
I really need people to understand more about anonymous mode because it is truly iconic. So tell me more about this iconic part of the app.
We are incredibly proud of anonymous mode. And you're right, it is groundbreaking. It's won multiple awards, including Time's Best Invention. So actually, we should be proud of it.
Yes.
It's unique because it provides full anonymity. That's to say that through the process of transmission, through multiple processes, it's impossible to identify the actual user. So no personal identifiers are linked with your data. That's no email, no name, no IP address, no other technical identity. No IP address.
It's really wild because other apps will say they do that, right? But they're still linked to the IP address. We were talking about this last night at dinner.
And look, we're encouraged to see the industry generally moving towards collecting less data. That's great. For example, not requiring an email address. But that isn't full anonymity, and that's the industry gap. And we have open sourced this in the spirit of we want others to follow our lead. We would love others to take advantage of the investment we've made in women and the industry. The way I see it is airlines don't compete on safety. Women deserve better. We shouldn't be competing. Femtech shouldn't be competing on privacy and security. So this is about making those privacy-enhancing mechanisms accessible. We're making them available. We're not gatekeepers of them. And we're spending the money for women and for the good of our industry.
Folks might think, well, if I'm using Flow in regular mode and not in anonymous mode, is that better or worse? Is, what makes it different from each other outside of the obvious, right? But is it okay to still use Flow in regular mode?
Of course it's okay to still use Flow in regular mode. Your data's always protected. As I said, this is about choice. It's an additional step. It's an additional tool. It's a choice that women have to be completely, fully anonymous when using our app. And that's the beauty of it.
I really don't think people understand. I used the word iconic already, so I'll try to find another adjective. But having been in the security industry for 13 years now, working with so many different people, organizations, tools, I have never seen anybody do this. And the fact that it was even possible, right? I think we're also left to believe that privacy by design and safety by design isn't possible. Do you see the industry really going in this direction based off of the landscape right now? Because I think people feel differently. People feel like we're being surveilled, their data's being misused. At least that's a lot of what's in the headline. And you don't always hear about leaders taking the steps to really put privacy by design. This is not always in the headlines, right? There's like opposite.
Yeah.
So do you see the industry moving in this direction?
We see some promising signs. We do see, as Laure mentioned, some services, they will limit data collection. We think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like Laure said, we don't want to compete when it comes to privacy and security. It should just be the standard. It should be the bare minimum that women deserve when they access.
Stakes?
It's
well,
just,
it should be.
Exactly. It's just foundational. It should be just foundational. And so we are seeing things move in the right direction. What you really need is a strong privacy and security culture within your organization as well. So investment in experts who understand this very well, but also top-down culture-driven leadership. So our leaders, us as leaders, this is really important to us. And so it's a non-negotiable here at Flow. We're really committed to doing the right thing. And so, we're seeing the direction of travel, I think, is overall positive. We'd love to see more. But within organizations, it has to be part of what you live and breathe. Otherwise, it's really difficult to, persuade different departments to implement privacy and security features. We don't have that challenge at Flow. We're really privileged. I think we're really lucky. It's not like a debate at Flow. It's going in the right direction, but we want to see more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was so lovely. Until next time, y'all. Thank you.